Now, I realize historically America has wanted to represent this melting pot mentality, but contemporary America functions more like a salad bowl. It has all these overlapping influence rather than a complete cultural blending that was the ideals of our founding fathers. Now, this old melting pot idea was really emphasized by people assimilating into the culture, right? They wanted immigrants to gradually adopt these common American identities and languages. Look at that dirty ass car. And they even wanted them to develop an understanding of the social constructs and cultural norms that we understood. But see, these people don't come from where we come from. They weren't raised how we were raised. That's why they had that hyphen in their descriptions. And I understand that concept was developed in the early 1800s, and it's been prevalent even through my upbringing in the 1900s, but it's not serving us anymore. And now we realize that everybody is not able to just blend together like they wanted them to. Today, America resembles a salad more than it ever has. We got all these cultural groups that are inspired and intentionally preserve their traditions. Yeah, you got whole towns that are dedicated to certain cultures that are not American at all. They keep their own language, they keep their own foods, their religions, and identities. They live completely separate lives outside of what America and, like I said, our founding fathers intended us to live. Now, I love multiculturalism. I think it's widely accepted now. You can see it in schools. You'll see it in media. Even in corporations, people are embracing this. You saw it with those 3 letters that everybody's claiming was definitely beneficial to some groups. But yeah, that type of multicultural viewpoint in America is very beneficial. But when you see these hyphenated identities, you'll see that they emphasize on the former rather than the latter, if you understand what I'm saying. They get very regional. It's almost like they have a subculture with their identity, and it remains extremely strong while they're in America, to the point where we have these people that rely heavily on where they came from, and then they benefit off of where they are. Now, I understand that technology and global communication is what really helps them stay connected to their people. So there's no reason for them to assimilate. Why would I assimilate when I could just hop online and still be almost like still dedicated and communicating with the people that are where I'm from? It's interesting, right? Like, I almost don't blame them for having this type of understanding, but I do realize what it's doing to this country that I grew up in. Because these hyphenated people are coming in, and though they may be melanated or not melanated like me, it depends on your shade, people will attribute them to the bunch because we have a lot of ignorant definitions. And let me speak on that for a moment, because our founding fathers, they signed a document that was rooted and littered in ignorance. Holding truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal while having people enslaved, whether you did or didn't own them, but you knew about them in your country that you're claiming to be free, is hypocrisy. Now, I love y'all for fighting for America, and we're doing our best to mold it into what you all envisioned it to be. But yeah, that's hypocritical. And y'all knew it was hypocritical when you wrote it and you still signed it. And I love multiculturalism and what it's done en masse. Like, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I would be the person that I am today if it wasn't for all of these different cultures. That's what makes America America. But the segregation, whether it's beknownst or whether you can see it or it's unbeknownst to you, it's there and it's blatant. Now, what do I want? Now, I don't want people to have to accommodate the unbiased ones, because I know you're just like me. You don't like separation and segregation in any shape, form, or fashion. You want to be able to walk in everybody's neighborhood and be accepted and appreciated. But if that's not what we're doing here, if that's not what the founding fathers intended it to be, then why would we accept it in this era? I'm just confused. America still contains the melting pot elements, because I see it. And we even made declarations that, like, for example, English being the dominant language and being the main language, the predominant language, that's a step in the melting pot, quote unquote, direction. Having these shared laws is entertainment, sports, consumer culture, all of that is a part of American culture. So that's a part of the melting pot as well. But these different groups still have influence on one another. And you see it all the time. You see it in fashion. You see it in music. You see it in even in food. For example, I come from the great state of Texas. Tex-Mex? I don't know what my life would be without Tex-Mex. Thank God for multiculturalism. So I'm just saying we need a balance, all right? We need a balance because right now, with America being like a salad instead of a melting pot, we see that the croutons tend to be favored. And they get a little bit of exceptionalism because everybody hasn't always favored croutons in the past or even known that they belonged on the salad. Or now we got certain cheeses taking up space in certain environments. Now everybody's wondering what type of lettuce should be preferred. And like I said, lettuce can't be tomatoes and tomatoes don't want to be cucumbers. And we're not trying to have any favorite groups, are we? But we do see it every single day. Whether you say it out loud or you're aware of it, there are certain groups of people. Wow, I made it here without a scratch, but I kind of crashed it in the end. What's up, bro? Wow, he's a weird looking guy. Anyway, but he's American. At least in the streets of Los Santos. What am I pointing out, y'all? I do love the fact that America did resemble a melting pot. You know, we had different cultures and like those different ingredients that we all came to know and love. And yes, I know y'all hear the first responders. Shout out to them. Those ingredients that we all came to know and love and blend together were incredible. It gave us a sense of history that we all knew and loved. Those shared laws, languages, and institutions that we all came up on gave us a general understanding of what it was like to be an American. And I don't want tragedy to strike for us to all come together. It seems like this finished meal that we're all trying to eventually come to is going to have to be one that we all have a shared identity in, which I'm fine with. But let it be rooted in American values if that's where you are from, if that's where you are born. Shout out to the USA. Peace, real ones.
This has been a completely unbiased and wildly chaotic video featuring Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. During this video, I may have talked about pop culture, internet nonsense, celebrities, movies, games, and people in the chat. Any jokes, sarcasm, exaggerations, or insults directed at public figures, fictional characters, corporations, trends, or anything else are clearly comedic commentary and opinion, and are not statement of fact nor representations of my real-life views or beliefs. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are easily offended, allergic to sarcasm, or have a hard time placing your personal biases aside, feel free to leave and never come back. I'm just being unbiased, y'all. Viewer discretion is advised.